In today's installment of Substituting for the Art Teacher, by the way, happy spring equinox, I'm teaching kids about another artist. No, I'm not a formal artist. I just like to do art and they call me in here on occasion, but I do have a few artists that I like to teach about. Because I'm personally hard pressed to name an artist other than the ones that the Ninja Turtles are named after, but there are a couple who are really cool. Last time that I was teaching them about a weird artist, it was Wayne Thiebaud, and he was an illustrator. He painted normal everyday things. He designed storefront signs, and he loved to do sweeties like cakes and pastries. Today we learned about Giuseppe Arcimboldo. He was brilliant, but also just a little bit weird, but as we will learn, that was his strength. This was his most famous painting, and it was a painting of the emperor. That was kind of a tricky thing to do back during the Renaissance because everybody played by the rules. Not Giuseppe. What do you see in this painting? I see a suckling pig, maybe a capon, a little rabbit, and a hand lifting a lid off of a silver platter. A couple little garnishes there. This artist created portraits out of anything but actual people. How about this fruit basket? Look at all the shading. It's objectively a good fruit basket. From a ways away, it looks like a portrait. Not all of his portraits flipped upside down, but they were always unorthodox. This is a bookish person, and if you look carefully, this one's got fire starters in a portrait full of flames, candles. And Giuseppe Arcimboldo wound up being like the private artist of Rudolph II, who was the emperor this is the emperor. And now I'm teaching the kids that I think this was a very dangerous thing to do. Like, was it a safe thing to do if the emperor wants a portrait done? Like, you think about most kings and presidents and emperors, they're all about land grabs and conquests and wars, but not this one. He was more interested in the culture of his people. He was interested in science and art. And so when he was presented with a portrait of his likeness and vegetables, he loved it. So much so that Giuseppe was now his interior designer. Whenever the emperor would throw a party, this is the artist who would decide how everything was going to look. And when they pulled down the palace curtains, this is the artist who decided like what colors they were going to be. And also to put things in perspective, the Renaissance is when we see all those fancy paintings. And they were like, you know, gentlemen wearing the white stockings and the high-heeled shoes, and the ladies had the big bustles under their dresses and the fans. It was that time over in Europe when the people were very fancy and they were very concerned with like perfect lifelike portraits, the classic art that we were all subjected to when we were little. And it was before abstract art. There was no abstract art during the Renaissance, but this is as close as I think you're going to get. It's not abstract. I mean, they're vegetables. It's a person, but it's weird. He didn't exactly play by the rules of his time, and he could have been driven out as a mad person, like maybe, I don't know, maybe some other people were, but he had the right connections, and he had the ins to be commissioned for an emperor who appreciated his work. That'd be a lesson to you too. Maybe it's not your work. Maybe you just don't have the audience yet. I kind of made up this little Renaissance type character with a frilly collar and the little decorations on his hat, and put some reference lines there just in case people needed to know where the eyes and the nose and the mouth went. Then handed out a whole bunch of vegetable sheets, some of them cut out, and you're supposed to look at the shapes and see if they would make a good ear or nose or decoration. A few kids did what I was asking by actually cutting them out and coloring it, and then some other ones decided to sketch their own or come up with a different idea. I would say that this project landed somewhere like a 6.5, but the lecture, I did a little PowerPoint and showed all of the artwork they did. That they really liked that, especially seeing the perception change. Also, sorry if my voice is weird. I narrowly won a fight with a bagel earlier, and I'm still deciding if I'm going to stay conscious for the rest of the day. Tell me about it.
It's his unibrow, and he has his eyes, and this is his tan, and his orange is tan, and his teeth are yellow with a lot of teeth.
Yours is wonderful too. Ooh, I've got braces.
Is this creepy?
It is.
It's a creepy one. Creepy.